everyone, Jason here, and welcome to the 15th episode of the Bombcast. I'm super excited for this one. We've got Craig Veroni with us, real estate agent in Canada, that's going to be sharing some incredible tips, ideas about some of the things that you didn't even know is possible and how you're going to be using video in your business. So if you're just joining us, drop us a comment, drop us a like so that we know that you're on. Let us know where you're coming to us from in that comment section. And remember, the whole purpose we go live is to be able to interact and let you ask questions to our guests as we work through our conversation. So before we go any further, Craig, I'm going to hand it over to you. Why don't you go ahead and quickly introduce yourself, tell us a little about what you're doing.
Yeah, thanks very much for having me. My name is Craig Veroni. I'm with Remax Masters Realty here. Live actually right now from Salt Spring Island. We're just on vacation with spring break vacation with my family. Real estate now this is my 7th year in real estate. And yeah, I was very lucky to have been invited down to the R4 convention just about a month ago in Vegas to speak at the video summit there about what I've been doing with video and how it's been impacting my business, and was very lucky to finally get to meet what I like to call my movie star idols, which are all of the guys at BombBomb. So it was awesome.
Yeah, it was a ton of fun. It was fun connecting. We get to see each other all the time through video and these things, but when you get to meet someone in person, it is always, it just kind of reminds everyone the power of video, even though we're doing it all the time. And just again, to kind of reiterate, Craig is coming to us from an island in around the Vancouver area. So internet state, it looks a little unstable. That's why he's basically in the middle of nowhere right now, and was gracious enough to take 30 minutes out of his day to join us and share kind of his video journey with everyone. So let's go ahead and start there, Craig. Talk about, you said you've been in real estate for about 7 years. Why did you start getting into video?
Absolutely. It was last June. It was June 2017, and I attended the video boot camp with Michael Thorne and Jesse Peters. And that was the 2 days that changed my life and my real estate career forever, for the better. Now, I had been using video because I've been a BombBomb customer for, I don't even know how many years now, but I've been using video for a couple of years prior to that through BombBomb. So sending one-to-one videos, to my clients and prospective leads, sending out a monthly market video update. And, I had success with that, but wasn't leveraging even the BombBomb platform to its fullest capacity. And it was during the 2-day video boot camp when you were asking me earlier, Jason, what was the aha moment for you? What was that light bulb moment? Well, that was it. It was sitting there over the 2 days when I realized that every single person today, whether you're an entrepreneur, a real estate agent, you're in business in any capacity, we now have access to our own film studio and television network. And the best part about that is that it's sitting in the camera on the back of your phone.
Right.
I mean, this is so powerful right now because it allows each person to be a broadcaster, to be their own television network. You don't have to, if you're in real estate, you don't have to wait for someone like HGTV to come along and say, hey, would you like to be on our show? You can start building your brand through your using your iPhone on a consistent basis, shooting tons of amazing content, and it will transform your business.
So let's kind of dive into that a little bit. So you've been on doing some video work through one-to-one, kind of building that connection. June, you decided to kind of ramp this up. You realize the power of being able to become your own media company, leveraging the tools that you kind of have. Where did you start? What was the first thing because there's a lot of different angles to come in and do this. Where did you really first go after when it became broadcasting, like a content standpoint? What did that look like?
So during the video bootcamp, we were given a challenge. It's called the 30 videos in 30 days challenge. And I thought this would be a perfect place for me to start, because it allowed, essentially the essence of the challenge is to go out into your community, find your 30 favorite places in your community, whether it's a park or a business or whatever, and showcase, that business or place. And the idea is to try and shoot one video every day for 30 days. And the biggest part of that challenge is getting one in the habit of shooting content on a daily basis, shooting video on a daily basis. When I saw that challenge, I thought, this is something that I could do. This is something that I would love to do. And I came up with my 30 favorite places in North Vancouver. And it was a massive hit. I had no idea how big this was going to be. This was just something that I was doing for myself as a little challenge, right? To see, can I shoot some video content? How can I do this? How much fun can I actually have with this? Well, just a couple of months after shooting those 30 videos, and I think in the first month, actually, about over 120,000 people had seen those videos. But a couple of months later, obviously, you, BombBomb, and VScreen created that video influencers list. Yes. Somehow I got nominated. There were over 600 nominees, I guess. And I wound up making the top 50 list, top 10 in the community videos. Right. Which was phenomenal. It wasn't really until September when I started utilizing video in a different way and starting shooting more specific industry related videos. I started shooting videos with a mortgage broker, a lawyer, home inspector, those kinds of things, and shooting video content that was much more translatable or appropriate for the people that knew me and the business that I'm in. And it was by starting to shoot those videos that all of a sudden my business exploded as a direct result of those videos. And the last quarter of 2017 was phenomenal. And I told you that story at R4 in Vegas about using BombBomb to sell a piece of property in West Vancouver, $4 million piece of property, to people that had never even met me. And it was an amazing experience, the power of video to use that platform or your platform in order to leverage my business and to be able to do that. Yeah.
Right. So we just had a bunch of people just join us. So if you're just joining us, welcome. Jason here at BombBomb. We've got Craig Veroni on, real estate agent in North Vancouver, who's on vacation in the middle of nowhere. Frankly, he told me about it.
It's not nowhere. It's Salt Spring Island.
It looks glamorous regardless. That's where I would want to be. So thank you guys for joining us. I want to go back just quickly, ask the audience, Craig was just talking about doing the kind of 30 videos in 30 days, highlighting the community. I want to know, anybody that's watching, have you guys done that? Have you taken that tactic? Have you gone out there into the community and applied that to your own business? Would love to hear from anybody that's watching if you have done that and kind of the successes that you found around that. So, and Sherry did just agree that Salt Spring Island is lovely. So clearly it is not just in the middle of nowhere. Multiple people do know where this is at, even though I don't. So Stephanie just asked a great question. We're going to get there, Stephanie, about tools that you're using. So we're headed there, Stephanie. Give us just a couple more minutes and we're going to get into processes and systems. But I want to go back, and you were talking about a little bit of what you're doing. You had your aha moment. It started to really impact your business. I want to talk practical though, Craig, like how much time are you investing into video when you're talking about these things, right? So there's the 30 for 30, and then now there's kind of this element where you're going in and you're talking to mortgage brokers and you're talking to home inspectors and doing these other things. On a weekly basis, how much time are you spending shooting, editing, putting out there video in your business?
I love that question, Jason. And every time someone asks me that, a big grin comes over my face because I am all in on video. 2 days after I gave my speech at the Video Summit in Vegas, we had the pleasure of watching Gary Vee do a keynote for us. And it was amazing during his keynote that he echoed what I had said. Not that I'm claiming to be on the level of Gary Vee by any means, but it was just neat that what I had just spoken about was being echoed by Gary Vee, in the sense that I said my aha moment was realizing that each of us has our own access to our own, film studio and television network. And his keynote was based around the fact of stop thinking of yourselves as just a real estate agent and think of yourself, or an entrepreneur or whatever, but think of yourself as a media company. And so when you say how much time are you investing in video? Well, all the time that I can. All the time that all my spare time that I can is geared towards creating video content. Now, when I say I use video in my real estate business, I use video across every aspect of my business. So for instance, with BombBomb, if a new lead contacts me, the first response they get from me is an email or a video email, right? So if they contact me about any particular property, my camera is out and I shoot a quick video saying, thanks so much, Jason, for your interest in this particular property here on Salt Spring Island. I know you have no idea where it is, but you're totally interested in living here right now. And I thank you for reaching out. And so here, right now I'm on vacation, Jason, but if you give me a couple of hours, I will get back to you with all the information, and I look forward to connecting with you. And that's the first touch that someone gets from me. And usually when they get that, they're blown away, right? Because they've never received anything like that. Mm-hmm. And so that's just the first step. And then I'm using video throughout the process. So if that lead becomes a client, throughout the process of helping them buy or sell a home, video is being incorporated there. I also use video, to connect with the people in my database. I wish them happy birthday through video. If there's a special occasion in their life, it's through video. If there's something massive that's happened, a massive change, death in the family or whatever, I'm going to reach out through video, because an email just doesn't cut it, right? I want them to be able to see me and convey my feelings through video. Then, of course, we're talking about video content and all the other different, there's so much content that you can use. It's your imagination is your limit, right? Really. I just launched my newest video series called My Favorite Humans in Vancouver. The first episode blew me away. I had no idea how successful that was going to be. It was completely organic. The reach, I think it was 2,500 people watched that video. Now the video was 30 minutes long, and the amount of people watching the entire video was just staggering. So it was staggering. You put that on Facebook, YouTube. How did you distribute that episode? Yeah, so every video that I shoot gets uploaded to YouTube first. Although if you go to my YouTube channel, you're going to see, I don't know, there's maybe a dozen subscribers, and it's not really the platform where everybody goes to watch those videos. I upload it to YouTube, and then I link that video to it's in my website, but on Facebook, I have to post it natively in Facebook, as you know. So when people are seeing it on Facebook, of course, it's the actual video there. And that's the bulk of the people watching my videos. They're watching them is on Facebook. I do send it out on Twitter or Instagram and LinkedIn and those kinds of things. But the majority of people will find it on Facebook and possibly my website. So Stephanie just asked, and curious about how are you using ads with videos? Like when you put out a piece of content like that, are you driving any sort of ads to it to get more viewership? Do you have a Facebook kind of ad strategy with video that you're using? Stephanie, that's a fantastic question, and you have targeted the biggest opportunity we have as real estate agents is using and leveraging Facebook ads. So yes, I do use pieces of content with Facebook dark posts. And a dark post is very different from boosting a post. So if you post a piece of content, through your Facebook business page or whatever, and then boost it, you're not running an ad. That's not an ad. You have to go into the back end, into the ads manager and run a dark post. And by doing that, it is someone was talking to me last week, And they said to me, I want to start using video more in my business this year. That's one of the commitments that I want to make. Will you help me do that? I said, absolutely. You know, anything you need. And they said, and I also want to start doing door knocking. And I looked at her and I said, why? And she said, well, I just feel like it's going to be another thing that I can add to my business. And I said, running a Facebook dark post is the digital version of door knocking.
Right.
Why not use the technology at your disposal and fingertips right now? Your ROI is going to skyrocket, and the amount of time that you spend doing and creating that ad, right? If you're going to shoot a piece of video content to run in a Facebook dark post, it may take you half an hour, hour, if it's a really complicated thing, right? To put the ad together, maybe another half an hour. So you've invested maybe 1.5 hours of your time, and the ROI on that is going to be phenomenal.
Well, and how many is in your play? If you were to do an ad and then you show up knocking at their door and they saw you on Facebook, how much more, like, you're going to blow their mind on that side of things as well. I want to jump into a quick question. Lisa just asked, with the videos that you're creating, do you charge clients in any way for these videos or for this type of content? How do you work that into your USP and kind of your business model?
No, I don't charge. Why would I charge someone to go and shoot a piece of content? This is a piece of content that they can use for my favorite humans in Vancouver. Guys, this is the biggest thing you got to get through your heads. It's the one thing that over the last 1.5 years I've discovered that's transformed my business. Aside from going all in on video, the biggest thing we can do as people, as individuals, entrepreneurs, business owners, whatever, is giving, helping other people, doing what we can to make someone's life a little better during the day, make the world just a little better place, leave it a little better than you found it. Get out. Why are you asking me that question? How much do you charge someone? Like, why would you even think that? Why would you even think about the monetary aspect of charging someone to shoot a piece of video content? If I can quantify the ROI that's happened over the last what has it been, Jason? 8 months since I took the video boot camp, something like that. I can't even quantify what that's done. But
well, I think it's been important to just note too, and just for Lisa, maybe kind of how she's coming at the question, maybe I didn't quite ask it right, is also the content you're creating is building your business. You're not doing video production for someone. They're not paying you for that content. You're doing it to build your business. And so just to kind of clarify that side of things as well, you're not in the video production game. You're in building a business, and you're leveraging video to do so on that side of things. I want to jump to a great question from Sean. He was saying, when you create content, when you're not kind of in what people would call typical realtor mode and showing another side of you, what kind of good feedback are you getting from that? Like when you do your kind of favorite people, you're probably not Craig the realtor. You're just providing meaningful content. How do you kind of blend those two things?
The blend happens naturally. It happens organically because my branding is in those videos. So, at the beginning when I introduce myself and the video series or that particular episode, I just mentioned it's, hi, it's Craig Veroni with RE/MAX Masters Realty. That's it. That's the, if I do that, maybe sometimes I'm just introducing myself, but my branding is there at the end because my outro is always part of the video content. So it's just there. It's there subtly. People now, and even if you're thinking about getting into video, don't worry about, are people going to know if I'm a real estate agent or not? They will. Trust me, they will. They'll know because your branding is there. It's part of it. You don't need to beat people over the head with it. If you're creating content that's awesome, that people want, that is meaningful to people, that will just organically and naturally build your business.
So let's talk about your tools, right? I want to get back to Stephanie's question just a couple of minutes ago. What are you using? You mentioned your phone. That's one, we have this ability to have a media company and editing all on our phone. But when you're doing these kind of more production side of things, what tools, processes are you using to create this content?
My phone is still my only camera. I do not have a normal DSLR or anything like that. I shoot everything still on my phone. Just before Christmas, I purchased the DJI Osmo, which is a 3-axis gimbal, and I'm getting to getting the hang of using that. I do enjoy using it, but I still shoot 100% exclusively on my phone because it's easy, because I can carry it around with me, and because it's always with me. Yeah. And it's one of the things I discovered last summer after the video boot camp was there would be a million reasons to actually stop myself from going out and executing and not using video or whatever. And I didn't want that to happen. I didn't want any barrier between myself and the goal that I knew I needed to start executing and achieving. And this was there. It was handy, and I ran with it. And it's still the thing that I love to use. I'm going to be purchasing a 360-degree camera.
Okay.
Because while I was in Vegas, met an amazing couple of guys, Jeff Turner and Steve Bintz from ImmoViewer, and just learned all about 360. And so I'm excited to start using that in not only my real estate side of things, shooting the content that I'm shooting now, like my either my favorite places around Vancouver or North Vancouver, but my favorite humans in Vancouver, I'm going to start shooting in 360.
Interesting. I'm curious, anybody that's watching, is anyone using 360 in their business? What kind of cameras are you using? Drop a comment in. I'd be curious to know kind of where everyone's at, as that's definitely an emerging kind of video technology and a fascinating way to tell a story, especially when you're on location and you're trying to give people a sense of an experience, and you're doing kind of those neighborhood tours, or you're interviewing key people, letting people kind of have that side of things. So I'm curious, we just got a bunch of people that jumped on. Welcome to the Bombcast. We've got Craig on. We're talking video, processes, ways to give value. And one of the things I'm always curious, Craig, is one of the things that that can be discouraging is quote, success, right? And so I'm always, how do you measure the success of the content that you're putting out? What numbers are you looking at? What's important to you of whether or not knowing something is working or not?
It's a great question. And I think success has to just be your own version of success. Like I said to you, Jason, to try and quantify what video has done for my business over the past year would be incredibly difficult to do. What I can tell you is it's been phenomenal. And I know that this is just the beginning. I haven't even really scratched the surface on it yet. But it's completely transformed my business. And I can, between September of 2017 and the end of December 2017, there were 4 or 5 deals that happened that I can directly attribute to a specific video that I shot. So it's really easy to track. These were 5 big deals. One of them I said was, almost a $4 million deal. So it's hard to quantify. It's hard to say what's success for someone. But from my personal standpoint, I feel like it's beyond, my wildest dreams in terms of what's happened in just the last 8 months alone.
So Bill and Ryan, we got a couple people on that are using 360, which is cool to see. And yeah, people kind of getting in there and talking about how they're leveraging it. So thank you guys. Thanks for dropping your comments and interacting. Please ask your questions. We wrap things up here. About 5-10 more minutes. If you've got a question you want to ask Craig about his process, his system, how he's using video, please drop a comment in and we will we'll ask him that. So I'm curious, Craig, one of the things that people a lot of times begin to kind of struggle with is content. And I think sometimes it's not because there's not enough ideas. It's about knowing what's the right idea to execute on, right? I think most people realize, yeah, there's content for days out there, but where do I get started? And so how did, for you, how you chose kind of your favorite people? What are some of those things that's important when you think about your next piece of content and what you're going to go out and spend the time to create?
Well, like I said, I started with my 30 favorite places in North Vancouver, and that's an easy start for anybody, anywhere, in any community, right? Mm-hmm. Shooting your 30 favorite places in your community is a very easy thing to do. Mm-hmm. And it's a great place to start because it immediately establishes you as the local expert in that community. Mm-hmm. And it connects you with the business owners in that community in a way that is beneficial for both of you. Yeah. And it was after that series that I said I started shooting more industry specific stuff for my clients, with a mortgage broker and a lawyer, outlining more of the process of going through a real estate transaction and shooting content that was more specific to real estate. But after December, when I started thinking about what I wanted my next video series to be, My Favorite Humans in Vancouver, the title hit me because I realized shooting my 30 and 30, my favorite part about it was connecting with the business person and finding out their story, hearing their story that they had to share. And I knew that there were amazing people in Vancouver doing incredible things, and I wanted to celebrate them. I wanted to hear their stories and share their stories with people. And again, it's trying to figure out content that speaks to you, right? You got to be able to go out and do something that's going to speak to you. Well, this fills me up. It speaks to me. I love hearing about what people are doing and hearing their stories and sharing that. So if that works for you, then do that. If something else works for you, find what exactly works for you. But like you said, Jason, there is content for days out there.
Well, and Sean just dropped in a great comment. If you're using video at all, you're miles ahead of your competition, regardless of the industry that you're in, because this is, we're still so early in the game. I mean, You might look at large brands that are doing this type of marketing, but to your point, large brands typically have entire production people making it happen. And now, because of this and because of the tools we have available to us, it's available to all of us to go out and start putting out this type of content. And I think Sean is spot on when he says basically following the mantra that done is better than perfect, and aiming to get a little bit better with each one. How do you do that? I mean, obviously, you're probably feeling more confident than you were back in June when you first got started. Oh, yeah. Where do you see some of those improvements coming in how you do video, or what are some of those lessons kind of as we wrap things up that you feel like are really important that maybe you did in the beginning that you aren't doing anymore?
Well, I mean, the biggest learning curve for me was the editing, right? And learning how to edit. I had zero experience with editing. I'm getting more comfortable, but I'm still using iMovie, and I feel like I'm just scratching the surface in iMovie, right? But so I'm certainly no editing pro by any stretch of the imagination. But just to reiterate Sean's point, getting it done, just shooting a piece of content and getting it out there is better than doing nothing. And Jason, it's important for people to understand that, particularly in the real estate industry, this is going to become the expected norm from your clients. What we're doing right now, the way I'm leveraging video, and the way, many other agents who are embracing this is going to be expected of you by your clients very, very soon. So if you're not jumping on now, if you're not getting into it now, you're going to be playing catch up down the line. And that's always a tough spot to be in.
Right. Well, which is, why we do the Bombcast, right? We want to help our audience elevate their video game and show that you don't have to be a video professional to do it. right? It's something that takes some effort and time, and we want to bring all the education and training to make sure people are thinking about it in the right way and in the right processes. Bob just said, what editing tool are you using?
Oh man, I use iMovie.
Connor, our founder and CEO. So what's up? Give Connor a good shout out.
Hey, Connor.
Drop in.
I'm using iMovie. iMovie.
Okay.
Yeah. But listen, when people come up to me and say, I want to start using video, how do I get going? I usually say the fastest and easiest way is to just start using BombBomb, because with BombBomb, you can connect with the people who already know you. So you're connecting with your clients and your database. Yes, you can connect with new leads, which is going to put you miles ahead of anyone else. But it gets you in the habit of shooting video without having to worry about editing. That's a brilliant thing about your platform. I don't know why every agent isn't using BombBomb, but right. That's the brilliant thing is if you want to start using video, just jump on BombBomb and you can start using video with your clients immediately, and you don't even have to run out and start shooting community videos or any of that other content. So it's a great entry point for anyone wanting to start leveraging video. And it's where I started, right? It's how I started.
Right. So I want to ask two things that are good questions that are just coming in. Microphone and lighting, right? These kind of typical things just kind of make it maybe feel a little bit better. Do you do anything there? Do you have a mic that you use when you're interviewing people, or do you have any lighting that you kind of bring when you're doing shoots?
I don't have any lighting, so I use what's available. And if we're in a place that doesn't have great lighting, I will try to readjust or reorient so that the lighting is as best as it certainly can be. When I first started last year, I invested in a Rode Lav mic. It was about $30 or something like that. It's still my go-to microphone. I have purchased a Zoom microphone recorder, which I barely use. But what I'm finding is, the lower tech I tend to keep it, the easier it is for me personally. The more tech I try to add on, the more difficult it is for me, because I'm not a super techie person, and learning new stuff frustrates me. So I like to keep it as simple as possible.
Yeah, I think a lot of the people probably would. Sorry, I think I dropped you there for a quick second. But yeah, I think a lot of people feel frustrated about the types of learning new stuff. And it just becomes harder, right? You make it harder for yourself.
Absolutely.
We got a ton of comments coming in. I want to read them back. Brad said that he watched your favorite people in Vancouver and absolutely loved it. So getting some love from someone that's seeing the work that you've been doing. A lot of cool resources, other software editing tools that people are using. Thank you guys for bringing that value and sharing kind of with each other the stuff that you're doing in your own businesses. Curious about the names of the mic. Philip was saying, my Rode mic, Rode. It's actually the Lav that I'm using. But the best mic that I think the majority of people have that they don't realize is actually the one that Craig is using on his headphones, right? He sounds great. It's great audio, and it's just coming in from that little volume button. They put a microphone in that's next to your voice. So everyone's got a pair of headphones, especially if you're an iPhone user. Comes with a thing free. Use that. It'll cut down on wind and all kind of those situations.
It's actually the next piece of tech I'm going to purchase are the AirPods.
Yes, yeah, the wireless ones. Those are great. They're nice for listening to music and for recording videos. So yeah, Stephanie's using the Rode mic as well. So that's awesome. So I'm just curious, kind of one of the final things, Craig, when you think about what's next for you, you're doing the people thing. What are you going to be doing in 2018 to continue to elevate your video game?
Well, I just launched the very first episode of My Favorite Humans in Vancouver, and I'm going to keep doing. I'm going to try and shoot one a month, for the rest of the year, which will be very easy to do. There may be more than one a month, but that's at least my target, my goal. And with the initial success, I think that's going to be just fantastic for the rest of the year. But also, with my listings. I've got a few listings coming up, so I'm going to be shooting listing videos in very much in the vein of the way Jesse Peters shoots his videos. Being the host in my video and taking the viewer and buyer on a personal and private tour of the home. And I think it's the best way to shoot a listing video. It should be the way every listing video is shot. Because a seller wants their home marketed as if it's on its own television show, and what better way to do it than that? And if you don't want to be in the video, at least have voiceovers, right? At least have some audio in there of you talking about the home. So for me through 2018, it's just going to be an expansion of everything that I'm already doing. I'm just going to be doing more of it, more videos, more Facebook dark posts, just growing that way.
Yeah. Whitman just asked, how are we streaming this live? So we're leveraging Facebook to go live. And then we use Joycast, which is a third-party tool that allows us to do these cuts back and forth between Craig and I. So it's a little bit more interesting. And then obviously we have a secondary camera as well. It's a little bit more of a setup on that side of things. Bill just dropped in. Great question, talking about disseminating videos. We did talk about that a bit ago, Bill, but basically Craig was saying he first posts to YouTube every video, and then from there puts it on to Facebook and other places as well. Beauty of YouTube, and one of the reasons why any piece of content you put out there should live on YouTube first, is it's searchable. You can't search a video in Facebook and have it show up on a Google page. So when you think about doing these neighborhood videos, you think about doing these kind of higher level pieces of content, they have to live on YouTube. It doesn't matter subscribers or frankly, even that it gets any views. It's just that it's searchable. So when someone does look for something that you use as a tag word or a keyword that's maybe around the neighborhood or the pizza shop, they're going to find it, which is the value of YouTube. It's not always just about getting a bunch of views and subscribers. You're probably going to get more engagement on Facebook, frankly, just the way that Facebook's set up, because of the following that you have on that side of things. Would you agree kind of with that?
Oh, absolutely. And the best part about YouTube is that you can create the post on your website as well. So, if you go to my website, you're going to see there's a few different sections. There's a live, a love, and an own section on my website. And those videos live there, but I've linked them to YouTube, and that's going to help the SEO of my website too. So, trying to drive traffic to the website and leveraging, because, Google owns YouTube. So they use that to help SEO for your website. So if you're trying to increase that traffic to your website, it's a great way to do it.
Ryan just asked a good question, kind of what is a Facebook dark post? You want to kind of explain that a little bit, kind of deeper for Ryan,
Sure.
kind of what a dark post does and how it benefits you?
Sure. The reason it's called a dark post is because the only people ever seeing it are the people that you target to see this particular ad. It never shows up in your news feed. So if I were to take a piece of content and just post it on my Facebook business page and then boost it, that's completely different from running an ad on Facebook. To run an ad, I need to go into the back end of Facebook, into the ads manager, and create that post there. And from there, it will go out and, to whomever I'm targeting out in the world. And you can get very, very specific with your targeting, which is the brilliant thing. And you can run A/B testing, which I'm just learning how to do and starting to be able to do that as well. So you can see which one of your ads is performing better. And then, you just turn off the one that isn't performing and go with the one that is performing. The best thing about it is so inexpensive. It's so inexpensive, and the ROI on it is ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the important thing is when you think about a dark post, the value is you could target a neighborhood, right? You can actually target a specific person. I read a really funny article about this guy that was trolling his college roommate by serving him up just hundreds of ads. And he was the only one that saw him, but it made him start to go fully insane because he kept seeing the same ad over and over. That's because his buddy was basically just trolling him with this ad. And he thought, yeah, so that's the power of Facebook, right? You can get highly specific, you can get highly targeted, and it's pennies on the dollar when you think about the charge of what's happening on that side of things. So, well, Craig, we are going to wrap things up. We're already about over to the half hour. You're on vacation, so I want to give you the time back. Thank you so much for joining us, for being a part of the Bombcast. The audience, thank you guys for being on, joining us. If you haven't, hit that 3 little button across the top and turn on notifications. As we come into April, we're going to be doing even more Bombcast. We're going to be bringing more guests. We're going to be bringing more value to you. Every week, we're going to be going live, having these types of conversations, helping you grow and elevate your business game in 2018. But the final question I love to ask our guests is this, Craig. What is the number one video tip that you have for everyone before we sign off?
The absolute number one video tip I have is do it. Don't think about it. Just grab your phone and go and shoot a piece of content. And if you can do that consistently, you'll get in the habit of doing it, and you'll see the results and in your business, whatever your business may be. But execute. Just go and do it.
Love it. All right. Well, thank you. Again, enjoy the rest of your spring break. And everyone, we'll see you on the next episode of the Bombcast.
Thanks, everyone.